So then guys, it's new iPad day and I love a day like this. I love doing an unboxing and checking out new Apple devices. But just quickly, I just want to quickly say that recently I made a video about giveaways and my thoughts behind them and comments I'm getting and things like this. I just want to say a massive thank you for everybody in the community for all your support. It does really, really mean a lot. But with that, and guys, let's continue on and let's start then with the unboxing of this iPad with the A16 inside of it. So to be deadly honest then, with the box, it looks identical to the last gen, but the only main reason how you can tell it is different is on the back right here. So just to show you at the top, as you see there, we've got A16 and 128 gigabytes there. That is how we can tell we got a different one here. But let's now rip this open, and once I've got this all done, let's lift off the lid and see what's inside. And there we have it, nice paper packaging and everything. So I'm just going to put that to one side just to show you here. This is a European UK box, as it were. So obviously we do not have the power inside, we just have the cable. We've got some paperwork and things like that inside of it. So all very, very cool there. So let me just put the lid back on, move that to just one side. And yeah, let's have a look. Let's open this up then. There we go. Peel this off. Oh, yeah. And pull out the new iPad. So after this, I set up the new iPad. And there we go, guys. We're fully set up then with this iPad. But, you know, this is the thing. I've got my iPad 10th generation here. And, yeah, it looks completely identical. And just showing you here a few shots of it, you can see it just looks like the last generation of the iPad. The main difference is compared to this one I've got right here, we've got an A14 inside of this. And then obviously on this one, we've got the A16 inside of this one. And so what I'm going to do is then, I'm going to do some tests then to see how more powerful this one is, the A16 one is, compared to the A14 model. Let's go and check it out. And first of all, let's go and check out Geekbench in its single core and also its multi-core performance. And we're going to leave this run for a little bit, and there we go, all completed now. I've sped this up to the end, and you can see the scores right here, and let me just feed these into a chart. So, as we can see here, the iPad with the A16, and remember, this is a 5-core CPU inside of this. We actually got a score of 2,587 inside of this one, compared to 2,074. We're talking about a 1/5 of a difference in speed here, and it's quite interesting to see, very similar what's going on with multi-core performance too. We're getting 5,941 compared to 4,865. Again, around about 1/5 difference in speed here too. Now, just showing you the iPads before we start here, I just wanted to show you some of the specs differences. You can actually see that we have 4 gigabytes of RAM in the A14, but we actually have 6 gigabytes of RAM in with the A16 model. So we do have an increase there of 50% more RAM, which is definitely something I'm going to be grateful for doing multitasking and things like that. And then something else, just want to point out here is the iPad OS version. You can see here that I'm on 0.1 and also on 0.2, the differences there. Now, the main reason behind this is because I can't actually download 0.2 onto the A14. I don't know if it's available yet at the time I'm making this video, but I just wanted to tell you that that is going to be a difference, but I don't think it's going to make much difference in doing the benchmark that we have started right here. So there definitely is a good bump up here, what we've got, and this is definitely a warm welcome to actually have this. But what about graphics and things like this? So what I've decided to do next of all is do 3D Mark. Now, I just want to quickly show you here that I couldn't actually run Nomad on here. So, you know, I can't actually do that test. Main reason is you need 8 gigabytes of RAM. So obviously with 4 and 6 gigabytes of RAM, we do not have this inside of it. So we'll have to result back to Wildlife Extreme and have a look then at doing a frames per second test on this. So obviously I've set these up, I've ran them on both of these devices at the same time, and then obviously the results came in, and let's have a look at them at the chart right here. So starting out then with the iPad A16 with the 4 cores inside of it, it has done 16.3 frames per second, and the iPad A14 with the 4 core inside of that, we're getting 13.2 frames per second. So a nice little bump up that we have got here, and obviously both these do have 4 cores, like I said, inside of them. But then I've decided to go back to Geekbench, and we're going to check out the score here by doing a Geekbench GPU benchmark using metal. And again, I ran this, and here are the results set in the chart. So we can see here the iPad with the A16, again with that 4-core setup. What we actually have is 19,792 as our GPU score compared to 17,074. So it's a little bit of a spec bump up here, what we've got in the metal scores, not too much in it, but personally, in my opinion, I don't think you'd actually probably notice it if you came from the A14 iPad to the A16 one, but if you came from an old iPad, you probably would actually notice the difference a little bit more. So then guys, just quickly, you may have noticed I've not shown you the Magic Folio keyboard as of yet for this iPad. And one of the main reasons is it costs $250 and then even the 11-inch version for the iPad Air starts at $269. Well, the great news is today's sponsor, ESR, have made these rebound magnetic keyboard cases that I want to tell you about quickly, and I also want to tell you about the new ESR Flip Magnetic Case too. So starting out with the rebound magnetic case. And just to show you here, I've even tried balancing, say, my AirPods Pro on here, and even my iPhone to show you how magnetic this is. With this keyboard case, you get a full multifunctional trackpad, as you can see right here. You can do all your gestures and everything like that. And one thing I particularly love is the 7 different colors you can choose from on this keyboard, and then you can also change the brightness levels of them too. You've even got function keys to operate like the brightness of the iPad, what's really, really handy. And like I said, this is more than half the price than, say, a Magic Keyboard or the Magic Keyboard Folio. What's absolutely awesome. There is also the ESR UltraFit Classic Screen Protector. What again, like I've said on this channel before with ESR, it is the easiest screen protector I've ever put on a device, and it's completely bubble and dust free application. What is incredible what you get here. And then we have the ESR Flip Magnetic Case, what is awesome too. What also has space for, say, like your Apple Pencil, what can just live at the top here, what is great to store that there. And this case also has a stand on the back, what is ultra stable on any surfaces, as you can see here, to get it into the correct way that you want it. And then, as you can see right here, there is a portrait view, and it is really easy to set this up so you can actually work on your iPad in portrait mode. And then best of all, keep your iPad nice and safe inside of this case too, what is fantastic. And best of all, you can actually pick this up for less than $23. What's absolutely incredible for the value and also the quality you are getting with this case. So if you want to check out these 2 different types of cases and also that screen protector too, make sure you check out all the details that are in the description of this video. And with that, let's continue on with this iPad review. So moving on then, what about disk speed or the SSD or the NAND chips inside of it? Now this one definitely did surprise me after I ran this Jazz test you can see I ran right here. And have a look here at the chart. This really did shock me. You can see that the iPad with the A16 with 128 gigabytes of storage, look at the speed difference we got here. In read speeds, we're getting 1,556 megabytes compared to 644. We're almost 3 times the amount here. That is absolutely crazy. Between 2 to 3 times, that is brilliant. And then it's the same here with the actual sort of write speeds. In fact, we are more than 3 times faster here. This is crazy to see here that the write speeds are really, really good in this iPad. And then obviously with the iPad A14, it does have the slower chips in it, but it's never been a slouch from my point of view when I've ever used it for just general use. But it's good to know that you can push this out if you do need to read and write away from that disk. It's definitely going to be more faster. And also, it's quite interesting to see what happens with AI too, because obviously Apple always keep enhancing the neural engine. So I did a Geekbench AI test, and here are the results for that. You can see that the iPad A16, we're getting a score of 26,027 compared to 12,731. Over double the amount in neural engine. So if you do want to do some sort of AI bits and pieces, or you're utilizing that neural engine, it definitely is going to come handy now. Now, the next benchmark I like to do is an AnTuTu benchmark because everything we just spoke about really, it's basically putting all of that together in one benchmark, as it were. So let's have a look then to see what the scores that we got at the end of this here in this chart right here. And we can see in the chart right here with the iPad with the A16 inside of it, we're talking around about a 28 to sort of 30% increase in speed here compared to the A14, doing all those different kind of tests that AnTuTu does. So this is really, really interesting too. But then next of all, what I decided to run is a speedometer test. This is checking out how fast, say, web browsing and things like this is. So I've decided to run this test and we have the scores right here. We can see that the iPad A16 gave us a score of 28.9 compared to the iPad A14, which gave us 21.8. A higher score is better here, just in case you want to know. So the iPad A16 is definitely out in front. Again, we're talking around about, say, a 30% increase in speed, probably, a bit less than that, probably 25 to 27% sort of increase. And this is really great to see here. But then what about an actual app that has its own benchmark built into it? Now, one great app out there is Affinity 2. So I've tested this out and we've done the benchmark here. And at the end here are all the results. Now, I'm not going to go through all the different results here because obviously there's a lot of them. We could be here talking for ages, but you could just see the difference here in single core, multi-core, kind of sort of differences that obviously the A16 is definitely gaining out right here in front. And the next question that you may ask, what about thermals then between, say, the A16 and the A14 iPad? Are there any differences? Does this run one hotter or does this one run hotter? What are the differences? Well, I've done a test for this and this test is running Wildlife Extreme Unlimited, and on the 5th run round, I decided to take some temperature gauges. So we are now on the 5th round then of cycling through, and we can see the temperature here. This one here, if I just move that way, that's the A14 iPad. But where the red crosshair is, this is the hottest spot. You can see we're here hovering around about 35 degrees there. Ever so slightly more, every so often. I'm going to say 35.2 as an average there. Yeah, I think we're going to do that. But obviously, if I just flip it round there for you guys, let's have a look on the back then to see what the temperature's like here on the back. So obviously, it's on the other side now. And whoa, that does make a difference there. This is now on the back of it. We're at 40 degrees, really. We just hit it there. There we go again. We're spiking 40 degrees on the rear. So I'm going to say the hottest is 40 degrees, what you're going to get to here on the A16 on this iPad. But then we move that one out of the way and we go back to now the A14 model. We can see then the temperature is actually cooler here. We're actually at 32.9 there, 33 kind of degrees. It's definitely cooler here with the A14 inside of it. But then obviously if I just flip that round again, so let's just move that. And let's get the back then. This is where it's even warmer now. So there we go. We can actually see, obviously it was just the image just sorting itself there. It's 37 degrees there, 36.7 or 36.5. It's around about, I'm going to settle with the 36, I'm going to say, that we're actually getting from this iPad. So like I said, with all those temperatures there, I've chucked this into a chart and you can see here the iPad A16 does run hotter. It's around about 4 degrees Celsius hotter here. So yeah, you can see the difference here that obviously it's 40 compared to 36. And then in Fahrenheit, it's 104 to 97 the difference is. So the A16 definitely runs a little bit hotter here. But overall, it's quite an impressive iPad. It's a warm welcome to get this new chip inside of this one. Personally, what I'd be saying is if you own this iPad, this is the one with the A14, I wouldn't be upgrading unless you need more storage, for example. That's probably the only reason I would see to be upgrading to this newer model. That is it. The only thing I would be saying, if you own, say, a 9th generation or older iPad, then this is definitely a good upgrade to go to. And also, if you've got the iPad Air 4th generation with the A14 inside of that too, then obviously I would upgrade to this as well. This is definitely a great iPad to actually get your hands on, for basic kind of use and uses. So yeah, I do think Apple have done a good job here putting the A16 inside of it and definitely retaining remaining the same price at $350 or $310 for education users. And what I would be saying is that probably as we get into the summer or even to the end of the year, probably the price will even come down on this, like at Best Buy and Amazon. So you'll probably be able to pick this up for less than, say, $300, what is going to be incredible value for this iPad. But let me know your thoughts on this one. Do you think this iPad is a good deal, and are you going to get yourself one? Well, let me know in the comments below. And with that as well, guys, time to wrap up the video too. So if you have enjoyed watching it, please do press the like button. Also, if you want to hear the latest Apple news, reviews and comparisons, make sure you subscribe to this channel and also hit that notification bell too. Until next time, guys, I'll see you really soon. Take care. Bye bye.